looking at positively at this point in time. But remember, viewers, it's also a time to really look at today marks the final day to file your income tax returns for assessment year 2025 to 2026. Now, so far, we've given to understand that 6.69 crore returns have already been filed, and the number is expected to swell by about 1 more crore filings on the last day alone. Filing numbers have already seen a steady growth path. Last year, we had seen about a 7.5% surge, with total filings crossing 6.7 crore, and this year the figure could potentially touch 7.8 crore returns as well. The rush today highlights how taxpayers are racing to meet the deadline and to avoid the penalties and on refund delays as well. Let's actually welcome our other guest to join in on the panel. We have Gauri Chadha, tax expert, now joining in to share with us what should investors be keeping in mind, taxpayers be keeping in mind in case they still haven't filed their returns in today's trading session as well. So Gauri, warm welcome. Good to have you with us. Last day to file the ITRs. Tell us, a lot of people would still be remaining, like we have given to understand. 1 more crore people are expected. So what should those taxpayers do if they have still not filed their returns?
Thank you, Sakshi, for having me on the show. So it's a very challenging day for the taxpayers and as well as the professionals, because the site is not working properly and people are unable to download the AIS. So last minute, if you are filing your return, because still 1 CR returns are pending, I think you need to be sure that you review your AIS and 26AS before filing your return, because there are challenges while downloading the AIS and 26AS. You may end up filing it without reviewing that. And trust me, when you will see your AIS, you will see a lot of income and TDS which has been reported under your PAN, which you are not aware of, or maybe you don't remember anymore. So don't do this mistake of filing the return without reviewing your AIS and 26AS.
It's a very important point. A lot of taxpayers would not have even thought of that, but thanks a lot for bringing that out, Gauri. There are a lot of other FAQs that a lot of people would want to know, so I'm going to be asking you a few scenarios that you could help us with. There may be a lot of people out there who may be thinking that if their income is below the taxable limit, remember February onwards, we actually have heard the Finance Minister increase the tax base to 12.75 lakhs, where people do not need to file their taxes. But when it comes to returns, do they still need to file their return if their income is below the taxable limit? That's the key question.
So, Sakshi, this is a confusion which everybody has, and that the basic exemption limit has been increased to 12.75, which is not true, because if your income is 12 lakhs or 12.75 lakhs, you still have your income above the basic exemption limit, but below that, you are getting rebate in the tax paid. So you have to file your return. If your income is below the basic exemption limit, which is 3, 4, 5 lakhs, in that case, you may not file your return. But if you are falling under any of the categories, like if you have spent more than 2 lakhs in foreign travel, or if you have paid your electricity bill of rupees 1 lakh or more, or if you have deposited cash in the bank account, 1 CR for current bank account and 50 lakhs in savings bank account, or if you have any foreign assets or foreign income, you have to file your return, even if your income is below the basic exemption limit. And in case the income is below exemption limit, but your TDS has been deducted, then of course you have to file, otherwise you won't get your refund back.
Okay, so those are very important clarifications. I hope all of you are noting all of that down, that Gauri is really telling you some very important tips and, things that you must keep in mind in case you still haven't filed your ITR. A lot of people would still want to know what happens if they actually miss out on filing the return today.
See, if you miss out on the return filing today and there is no extension, and today is the last day to file the return, then you can still file the return till 31st December. And but you'll have to pay penalty of rupees 5,000 if your income is above 5 lakhs, or if it is below 5 lakhs, you will have to pay a penalty of rupees 1,000. This can be increased with interest, because if there is any tax payable, then there is interest also, which will be charged under 3 different sections. And accordingly, you have to pay that amount as well. So that interest would depend on the amount of tax payable, but this penalty will remain same for everybody.
Okay. Help us understand, two more things. A lot of people would want to know that, okay, just to file the return so that it does not come into the penalty category if somebody files, but there are a lot of mistakes. Can one still go ahead and revise those returns going forward from here? Two, there's also an essential fact that everybody needs to e-verify their tax returns now, because if they do not complete this step, it is considered that your returns are incomplete. So how do you go about it if you have forgotten to e-verify by today? So two questions.
Yeah. So, first of all, if you want to revise your return, if you later on realize that you have missed out on something or you have incorrectly mentioned any detail, then you can revise your return again by 31st December. But you have to keep in mind that if you are revising the return and you are increasing your income or increasing the refund and decreasing the income, in that case you might end up having more chances of getting a notice. Although I'm not saying that if you are going to revise your return you will get a notice, but be sure that if you are revising you are doing everything correctly, and then you can easily revise. There is no limit on the number of times you can revise. You can revise any number of times.
Right.
Whereas e-verification is concerned, you have a lot of options to e-verify the return, and of course that digital way of sending the physical copy to CPC is still there. You have 30 days to e-verify the return or
Okay.
verify the return,
There's still
and
time.
only after that the return would be processed. Yeah.
Okay. Lastly, Gauri, help us understand if somebody is facing, like you also pointed out, the site is not working, incometax.gov is not really working properly, and if there is too much of a rush, if the site crashes by midnight, what is the hope? Can the deadline be extended? And two,
So
what help can one look for?
of course, actually, we are hoping for an extension, but till now, since there is no news, we may not get any extension. The site is definitely not working properly. There are issues in downloading EIS and 26AS. The third-party softwares have been kind of blocked, and the challans are also not fetching. So basically, if you are facing such issues, the department has tweeted also. They have their email ID, they have
Sure.
their chat box, they have their online grievance portal.
Right.
So you can go there, tweet or chat with them. Although I'm not
Got
very
it.
sure about how many solutions will be given, but these are the alternatives.